Ogen is the new general pool character being released in the English version of Octopath Champions of the Continent, and here's what you need to know about him. He's an AoE regener who also applies defense up with it, which is great for extending and increasing the turn counts and percentage of the party's defense up and keeping it on. He's also a very good icebreaker and damage dealer. His gimmick is that he takes 75% of his own HP to do his party-wide regen and defense up, burst heal, and AoE BP regen, because he has that as well, which is really good. He could even replace RNA with the BP regen as well. And then when he's at 30% HP or below, he applies a 75% HP barrier to himself every time he casts a skill, and gives himself 30% passive elemental attack and ice damage up as well. His ice and axe nukes also do up to 2 times power if he's at or below 10% HP for 900 power, and he has an AoE 3-inch ice that gets cast again if he's below 30% HP, making him a great breaker and damage dealer. His healing moves actually avoid him so he can stay below the HP threshold, and by constantly recasting skills is how you regen his health. However, this also means he doesn't affect himself with his defense up, and he's a bit tricky to work with. Any form of healing doesn't work too nicely with him, and sitting in the back too long can have the same effect. He's a rewarding character to use, but not always the easiest. If he has any little bit of HP at all above 30%, he won't apply his HP barrier, but he'll still take his HP. He could end up starting the next turn with like 1000 HP and be very easy to kill. He does have his TP support skill as a small net to save him, but I'll get to that later. Party-wide regen and defense up, AoE BB regen, his AoE 6-hit ice, and his ultimate are his main draws. His ultimate is a party-wide 99,999 heal, and 110% ult attack and defense up. His ultimate actually does affect him, by the way. I'll also mention his TP skills in the Japanese version are an AoE 15% axe and ice resistance down skill, and Tressa and Elfin's hang tough support skills, where hitting 0 HP makes him survive with 1 once per battle. Also to note, remember, self-damage can't kill you and actually doesn't activate his support skill either. Now remember, he's in the general pool. He's likely to be off-bannered eventually, but he is a very good character that's difficult to pass up. He fights Primrose and Rinyu for that regener slot, with his BP regen and defense extender. I brought him to many fights and use him a lot. Party-wide defense is very hard to come across. It is 10%, but that doesn't really matter that much. It extends turn counts is what matters most. If you're lacking a party-wide regener, Ogen is a very good choice, and I highly recommend him. To summarize, Ogen is a pretty strong general pool character that is tricky to use but rewarding, and is very good at regen and defense up for the party, and at ice damage and breaking as well. My pool recommendation? You're likely to off-banner him, or you could pick him through a Selector Seal, but if you're really in need of what he offers, he's a very good choice that you definitely won't regret, in my opinion. This was my attempt at a character review for you guys to use. It's not meant to tell if you should or shouldn't pull, just to help with your decision. If you want to see more of this, please let me know, and you could subscribe to my channel as well so that you'll let YouTube know that you want to see more from me. It would be greatly appreciated.